Friends, it takes steeliness to follow Jesus. It takes guts, determination, and a hell of a lot of responsibility if we dare hope to be faithful to Jesus. If ever there was a basic call of the Christian life is today in our gospel, where the Lord simply says, pick up your cross and follow me. What does that mean? In the first instance, it means to love. It means to love, to renounce oneself and to put others first. To love somebody else means to will the good of that person, as St. Thomas Aquinas so powerfully puts it. And to be a person who loves God and others, it means responsibility, obviously. It means being accountable. It's a powerful and important message for the times we live in, which I think our culture has very much forgotten, that definition of love. Now, a really powerful way of kind of measuring up, how do we measure up that level of love, is what Moses puts in our first reading here this morning. This is what he says. I set before you your life and prosperity, death and disaster. If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, if you love the Lord your God, follow his ways, keep his commandments, his laws, his customs, you will live. End quote. Loving God and loving others and keeping the commandments, friends, is ultimately about self-giving. That's the cross. And it is not an easy thing to do, to say the least. Think about the commandments. What are you doing when you're following the commandments? You're putting God first. You're putting others first before yourself. You're upholding human dignity. You're refusing to lie. You're standing up for life. You're not to let desires and carnal pleasures enslave us. All of that is no joke. It really isn't. And as you can see, it's very opposite to the world we live in today. And it's very sacrificial, self-emptying. And more often than not, folks, it can lead us to being rejected by the wider society, even members of our family, communities, you name it. So to have courage, friends, we need it in order to be able to stand up to even the majority, either in our family, friends, in our church, and culture around us. And it's a painful way of life, to be honest with you, because it takes guts, and like I said, a steeliness to stand up. A self-giving service to others, folks, like I said, it will mean renouncing ourselves in some little way, or in some people, big ways. We die to ourselves to live for others. The gospel, friends, today in Jesus, he assures us that taking this path, it's what saves our lives in the first place. We become more alive, more fully the person God has called you and me to be. Now, like I said, folks, all of this is very antithetical. It's very much the opposite of the pressures of modern culture, politics, and society around us, where ego, power, making others serve my needs is what I want, what I can get, no matter who I'm going to walk on. In short, I think humanity has always had a tendency towards a narcissistic way of living. And Christianity was an explosion into this world in our history that pulls us away from that way of thinking and living. We've been asked, friends, by the Lord, to stop looking for shortcuts. Stop trying to find a way around the cross. Stop trying to find a way out of responsibility. And you know what? As Christians, we're falling into this trap the entire time. By trying to create a Christianity or a church that's convenient, comfortable, cuddly, a faith that demands no cost whatsoever. You see that in the New Age spiritualities in a special way. I see it the whole time in parish life. We've lost so much accountability, even in the Austin way of life. We've lost so many standards, particularly when it comes to the sacraments and our liturgies. Anything for an easy life. Just give them what they want. It'll be alright, fine. Less hassle. If ever, that was a tagline for how the church operates today. And it's been operating like that for far too long. Friends, a church and a faith community that conforms to the world is a church of mediocrity. And that is not the gospel call. Most certainly not the Christianity that's based on Christ. Moses rightly reminds all of us here this morning that that way of living, it always leads to disaster, chaos, ruin, which of course does not lead to eternal life. So friends, I think this Lent we would all do well to realise that bearing our crosses, it does come at a cost and it takes guts. Sticking with the Lord and his laws, no matter how tough it might get, is the only way we can live fully. And Jesus today, as you know, he's now setting out his journey, his final journey towards Jerusalem, where there's nothing but suffering and death. However, it is ultimately a journey to eternal glory.